Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It appears we are back now on site, and finally, it looks like the knife round is going to get started without too much of a hinge. We had a huge delay on behalf of one of the two teams because one of the players is actually getting 20% loss according to their net graph 3 in game. But that's the knife round, and we see gBots take it amazingly. Now, I did do a lot of research on the team since we were at a long break, and I saw that one player that I think is worthy of an absolutely massive highlight is Lowell. He's previously just managed to help teams rack up nearly 80,000 euros or US dollars in prize winnings before joining gBots. So maybe this could be a team that was scrapped together off the back of another disbanding team. But on the whole, I'm not going to downplay these guys by any means. So if this is your first time watching the stream, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a rundown of who I am and what I do. I am Breaker, and I cast on Huomao.tv, Chinese streaming platform, and we will also be uploading the VOD to YouTube. Of course, we just saw a cute guy on the left right next to Moses getting his microphone adjusted for him, but I think that's going to take us straight into this game. gBots, the native team from Spain. Dignitas, it doesn't matter what esport you're talking about, that team has a massive brand name. It cannot be missed on any map, but this is the Barcelona Invitational, and thank you all for tuning in. Unfortunately, there's nothing much I can do about the quality. I didn't roll back to an older version of Counter-Strike Global Offensive to produce a live in-game observer like ESL did, but I'm watching from the clean feed. I'm gonna try and give it my best shot with casting this. So let's get started. Config trying to hold his ground, and it looks like he will lose his head to gBots Mixwell. That being said, even though they've got the one frag, they're not gonna throw this away. Then it's just gonna go diving into bomb site B on the back of that one frag, and at least not the way they are right now. They're just waiting to get themselves into position. I didn't pay attention to the buys, but it's very interesting to note that gBots, they don't have a single player that's skimped out on Kevlar. Typically what you'll see is a 4-man buy, but hang on just a sec. That drop, oh man, that's 2 headshots straight to Kirby. He's already making them regret that decision to go through drop, but it looks like, is he gonna make a 3rd headshot? No, he's going to get refragged immediately. Still 2 very nice headshots lined up for our guy that just went down. Excuse me. It's Tensky getting taken down now, and he's, I mean, MSL is a 1 versus 3. To think he was actually having 20% packet loss on the same computer device. He's using a missed jump, and he's gonna land right in front of 2 pistols. That's gonna be gBots taking the T round. The first T round on their end, that is to say. I mean to say rather the pistol round. And with that being said, if they play this out criterion-ly, if they can last out this entire round without even one of their guys falling, then that's even more power to them. They're going to be able to just get an economic powerhouse going for themselves. And I'm going to alt-tab real quick to make sure everything is fine audio-wise. Looks alright to me. But I really feel like the in-game sound isn't loud enough. Let's get that turned up. Sorry about that. I'm already at max volume. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Canarito making the opening frag. Lowell gonna make another one as well. I definitely think if there's a playmaker on this team, it would definitely be Lowell. Just based on the performance history he's previously had, the amount of money he's managed to pull off for his team. I wouldn't say he's going to be the top fragger, but I wouldn't be surprised to see that he is going to be the top fragger. So, that is really strange. I'm not hovering over this. Why is it doing this to me? Okay, there we go. Let's fix it anyway. Took a brief pause and replay, but Canarito taking another one down, and that's just, it's all now on config, and really not losing a single guy at this point is going to really allow gBots to get that bank going, especially with Canarito and that double kill. He even spots out Config. Config just waiting patiently, trying to see if he can get the headshot, but he was already pre-spotted, basically. Once again, for those of you just now tuning in, this is not a pirate stream. This is actually just me being given the clean source for the stream on site. I'm gonna turn down my own voice volume because even maxed out, we're having difficulty hearing on the clean feed. Here we are. Looks like it's gonna be, I wouldn't say, basically this is a very ballsy dive into bomb site B coming out of Mixwell. He's gonna take 2 to the head and just back off immediately. Lowell able to pick up the slack for him, however, and that's gonna be a second and not really a third to Lowell before he goes down. Kanarito is gonna get that, but immediately we see a refrag onto Lowell and Kyrie. It's all on config now at bomb site B. 1v3, very difficult. I mean, right now he's at 77 HP, and he's just. It's difficult to come back from this kind of situation. We all know that, right? So config, I think, is gonna get away with that Galil, and just save it away for the time being. And of course, you can hear the casters in the background. You guys are probably accusing me of a pirate stream right now, but really, legit, straight through and through, this is actually going to be, this is the clean source. It's just that the clean source is also there to hear what the fans are saying. That's the interesting thing about clean source stream. So I think there's like some kind of a microphone in the audience or something like that. But really, what they've done is, that's actually the audio being spat out on site from the English casters. I'm just so surprised they didn't have Spanish casters on site, because at IEM Taipei, well, the language that was being blasted through the clean source was actually Chinese casters, Chinese language casters. So, you know, I mean, I guess a little bit, every day you seem to learn a little bit more, but, eh. So here it is, first rifle round now coming out for, oh my goodness, what is happening here? First rifle round now coming out for Team Dignitas, and this is hopefully where they begin to turn things around. gBot's, you know, definitely not the heavily favored team here, but Dignitas, this could be the round where they actually make it happen, because that's 5 rifles going up against, you know, 2 SMGs, 2 AK-47s, and a single AWP. Now that's a little bit situational, but it looks like Tensky is going to see things get really nasty here. Oh no, pulls out a grenade at the wrong time. He's gonna double back, gonna get a headshot for his time, however. Doesn't lose his head until just after, you know, a single frag. So he gets a refrag, and it's gonna be MSL getting a refrag onto his teammate's dead corpse. So that's gonna take out Kanarito, and now it looks like gBots are actually on the receiving end of a bad exchange for a change. Lowell just playing around mid, but for the time being, it's going to be MSL who's waiting for him to pop out. At this point, Team Dignitas, they just have to, you know, sit back, relax, make sure no one breaks through at any angle. But no matter what, whichever site that gBots plays for, assuming they're just going through, they're just going to play not standard, but just going straight into those sites, it's going to be a 2 versus 3 situation. Here, it could look, it's going to be 1 versus 2, and that's going to be an immediate entry frag from Lowell. I told you, that kind of the playmaker of his team right now. Something that kind of encouraged my prediction. Lowell getting another one as well. Like that's kind of a situation where he shouldn't have lived through, and it looks like that is just 2 versus 3. The retake was made, and just Dignitas pulling I wouldn't say a rabbit out of their hat, but just the way things went at second floor, it was absolutely solid. I'm gonna see if I can boost the audio just a little bit, but I might not be able to do that. If I do that, it's not gonna help too much. So at mid, a very pushy flashbang, and that is actually gonna connect with the eyes of MSL. He's gonna be taking the role of Opper on Team Dignitas for the time being. Config, now waiting. Oh my goodness, no, pre-firing, he gets one. He's gonna drop that M4 and try and snatch an AK away. He gets away with his life, 19% HP, and is now going to act as the doormat to the tree for Rubino. Rubino now blind behind the tree, and we've got Mixwell diving into the front lines. It's gonna be Rubino for, oh my god, just everything. Like Rubino for everything on gBot's side. It's just it didn't look like that worked out too well for either side, but now it's 1 versus 2 in favor of Team Dignitas with the man advantage. Mixwell's got to pick up that bomb, but Tensky spots him and takes him down. Final shot is a headshot through a wall, and Unfortunately, it was a little bit of an awkward position, to be perfectly honest there. I was surprised to see that Dignitas got through that, the way those entry flashes went in. I would not feel very comfortable behind that tree at that point. I feel as though there was some kind of positional errors coming in from gBots. They didn't have anyone who rushed all the way out to the edge and made sure that no one was on tree at bomb site B. So, you know, maybe a little bit of a slight error coming out, but overall, can't gripe too terribly much. gBots, they're now on the best buy that they can make right now. Carry is skipping out on a helmet, and that versus CT side can be a little bit more than lethal. Tensky waiting for the entrance, and this is actually looking like, oh man, this could be them taking the A bomb site, but actually Kirby just coming in and shutting that down a little bit. Kenarito going to be getting MSL off of that AWP. Kirby now just waiting for the entry. After a pop flash greets him, he turns away, and he's just ready to take on anything that might come through long A passage. Mixwell, meanwhile, entering bomb site B and just taking advantage of that ruckus to bring this back to a 3v3. He does have the bomb site, and that was, I don't know if this has been a fake or if this is just gBots making it up as they go, but they now have a plant going down at bomb site B. The CTs are just now doubling back to that site. KRB waiting for Kenarito, does find him, and Torp is now going to look for a head. Is he going to get it? Just barely misses it onto Caribbean. Caribbean now making the entry and the retake for the defuse. That was, you know, a little bit... It's difficult to put into words, but the coordination was... I felt like it was there. Solid shot calling, solid decision making, solid everything coming from gBots on this round, to be perfectly honest. But it wasn't what I guess you could call absolutely 100% across the board amazing play. Because if it was, I think they would have actually gotten away with something at the end of that round. Again here, let's see if we can just get this back to full screen. There we go. Okay, this is looking pretty decent now. Not too terribly bad. Now entry coming in from the gBot side of things, but they're immediately taken down. That's 3 kills going straight into Tensky, and Rubino's gonna get it. The 5th and final man, Mixwell. A bit unfortunate for gBot right now. Very, very tough economic situation for them to enter, and now they're forced to go into yet another, or not yet another economic situation that's difficult, but right now, this could be the beginning of a comeback with the way that last buy was. They went in with all tech 9s. You could see that there was difficulty aiming, and that was basically due to the absence of armor. But that's the 4th round in a row that they've lost, and we are going to be seeing Team Dignitas rotating predominantly towards B, but it's actually going to be Mixwell making the opening frag through smoke, I imagine, the way he did it. Blind fire now coming in from his teammate who boosted him up on top of box, and he's just waiting for that opportune moment to catch something or the corner of something. He's just right on the verge of spotting it on the other side of that box. He's waiting to see a grenade. He's waiting to see some sign that says that somebody's there, and oh my goodness, he just missed the shot. And just as our observer actually missed that, Rubino was on the other side of that box, and he actually got the frag onto Mixwell. However, thus far, gBot's, you know, been able to keep it up. They only lose 1 man in this push into the bomb site, but finally they're going to make that plant happen at what appears to be about 45 seconds. It's now all on KRB, and I think he's not playing for the win. He's actually going to be playing for exit frags, if anything. Here we go. That's 1. 2 headshots in a row, I believe he made, and now he is actually getting out of there. Gonna head back towards A site. He's like, all right. Got lucky once, and now if I can actually get another frag, then that's kind of hurting their economy. Bare minimum manpower that you want to have on your team, or rather the bare minimum number of players you want to have on the alive on the end of your team for your team to make profit, economically speaking, is 3 players. But it looks like KRB's running across. Ooh, and it looks like he just can't win that duel. It's Kenarito, and Kenarito, like, he only lost... he was only hit once by those bullets, really. So, really stuck between a rock and a hard place in that peculiar situation. But all things considered, both sides are even, relatively speaking. I feel like the economic situation here is much more high tension for Dignitas. But as I say that, MSL is going to put the rest of his team at ease by opening up with the first frag. They're just telling themselves now, okay, play smart, don't push. You know, it's just little things like this that help out, really. That's the sneaky play that they needed to actually put themselves one man up against gBots. Looks like Mixwell's looking for that refrag. And who is that he was looking at just now? It's a little bit difficult for me to make out that number. Number 2, I think that's KRB. If not, it's MSL, most certainly, because that he was actually at mid with the AWP, and it's not too difficult to rotate to that far left spot on the minimap. There we go. Torp now pushing in. Where is he? Oh my goodness, a beautiful anti-entry flash coming in from Kenzie, and he throws in a frag to accompany that as well, but it does only a fraction of the potential damage it could have done. Another anti-entry flash, and that's going to hit just who there? Couldn't quite tell. But it certainly slows down the push. It makes gBot feel that much more uncomfortable, and that, speaking of that, I mean, like, that's another thing that'll do it. We just saw Torp getting his head taken off from a rear end shot, and now what's left of gBots, if they want to win this, they're gonna have to push in, and this is not looking pretty at all. Tensky shutting down Mixwell in the background with that AWP. Rubino took about 84 damage from that one shot, maybe to a leg, but now it's jeez. On the whole, really, Team Dignitas didn't lose a single guy there, so gBot's really hurting at this moment. As you can hear from Sumler there, he says it's a very unfortunate round, but yeah. Here we go. Generito just waiting for an overextension. He might just find that, but I mean that's MSL with the op, and yeah, he takes one bullet, but he's immediately going to get the return shot, and with that the frag. Good God, this stutter! I got to get it out of my system. Torp ready to play his best on drop. KRB just, he's waiting for that head to pop up, and there it is. 0 exchange for 62 HP on KRB's favor. KRB is going to be getting Mixwell's head after a slight rotation there, but on the whole, it's not going to turn out that pretty for this team. With 3 versus 5 pistols only, no armor to accompany that, it's going to make aiming very difficult for gBots, and KRB is going to get a second one for his time. And that's going to be Tensky coming in, and I think getting the finishing frag at drop. Altogether, on the whole, really, Dignitas playing this out very strong. I wouldn't say this is an entirely one-sided match, but that's typically the way things go until it can be a very chaotic, very back and forth until we see one team getting a very strong economic lead, like perhaps at this point in the round. See, gBots, this is one of those rounds that has to count for them, or they're going to be in a lot of trouble. We're talking like if they are unable to win this round, and that was a clear miss by MSL. He should have had that. He really should have had that opening frag, but he didn't. Not to fault him too much. Hopefully it won't come back to haunt him, but it's now clearly obvious that this is a play for B. He couldn't get up on the platform. That's not going to stop Rubino from getting the refrag, and that's going to be Carey getting the Tech 9 kill onto him. Config just happens to be in the right place at the right time, picks up a triple kill off of this, and now it looks like we might have a more than viable defense coming in from Team Dignitas. It's 1 versus 3. All hope rests on Torp. And he's immediately shut down by Rubino with a single blow to the head from the M4. So this is basically where Dignitas, if they continue to win rounds like this, it's going to just gradually spiral out of control. The threshold right now we would see to actually break their bank is 2 consecutive losses in a row is what we'd have to see gBots get away with. Maybe even potentially 2 all kills to really reset that economy. But gBots, conversely, I mean, this is more than just a tall order, because for them to win those duels, jeez, they have to get the first shot down with without taking any damage in return. Because of course, if you don't have armor and you're taking shots, well, there goes your aim. You're not gonna be able to land that headshot unless maybe you're aiming at the feet before you start. It's very situational, but thus far, I mean, given the fact that they've only bought pistols, this is really not too terribly bad. They're forcing full rebuys for what is basically equivalent to $5,600 per M4 player, or per rifleman, if you will. So I'm not saying this is god-awful play coming from gBots. I mean, this particular round, given what they've invested, they're playing to their best and accomplishing what they are trying to do fairly well, which is trying to trade. You're not expected to win an economy round, really, or an eco round, excuse me. But if you're able to at least trade well and just say trade until there's only one guy left on the enemy team, that's not too bad. It's even more power to you if you can actually win that round. But MSL looks like he's about to pounce on a golden opportunity. Hurts the scoping, shoots for the feet and impacts the feet, but really just he doesn't get the frag off of that. That's the AWP, and it looks like Rubino is going to get the revenge on his teammate. He now spots the last guy, Van. Shot to the head through a tree, and that is going to allow Rubino to get a double kill. So, like, what I mean to say there is that shot to the head through the tree was actually a shot to the head through the tree by, I think, Cavarino on, or excuse me, Kyrie there. See, you're going to see this again. You're going to hear it, I think. No, you won't. That's actually the modern game round. But that was Kyrie who managed to get a headshot through the tree, but you know, 2 players left on Dignitas made it expensive. It keeps the economy from growing, really, once you get 3 players taken down on the enemy team. So with that being said, it's not really, you know, a massive loss to gBots. But it of course isn't that economic breaker, if you will. It's not something that's going to force the entire team to buy out. But Mixwell, he's in drop now. He's poking forward, looking for Rubino. He knows what could be on the other end of that. And there it is. Rubino loses patience first. He heard the drop. He thought maybe he was going for the window. And that's going to be a frag for a frag and then a refrag coming out from KRB. Altogether, 1 for 2 exchange there at west end of the map. Western Chambers, let's put it that way. Like the place is very difficult to identify. But that's going to be Mixwell taking a peek that only dealt 4 damage to him. You should know it's on fence right now, and he's throwing the Molotov for that. And that's going to put KRB in a difficult situation, but nonetheless get him a frag. Mixwell just revealed his position, gets flanked by Config, and that is this round in a heartbeat. Again, another expensive round coming from Team Dignitas, but I'm not going to say, you know, a big, massive economic upsetter round. But I think this is where really gBots put themselves in that position where they would be able to get such a round. But it's almost a misnomer. It's almost completely irrelevant now that we see that round 14 has rolled along, and we're waiting for round 15 to come through as well. And that'll be the next round is the last round of the first half. So I mean, this is a full buy coming out from gBots. And, or not a full buy, a quasi buy. So that next round they should be able to afford a full buy with AK-47s and such. So, here we are. Dignitas Config, he just creeped through smoke and now he got into the position he's at right now. Pop flash that may lead to an entry. No, just a... It's hard. Oh, sorry, that was an anti-flash coming in from a teammate on Dignitas. But I think he just revealed his position. Indeed, he is. It's immediately 2 for 2 in the exchange. And HP-wise, everything is looking very, very even. But weapon-wise, it's actually going to be Dignitas with the advantage. Not to mention also more or less armor-wise. And utilities, it's going to be Dignitas with a slightly better position. Although they have to play for the retake. And that is gBots bringing things back to slightly better for themselves. Here we are. MSL, he's got balls of steel. He's trying to get that. He's trying to get the further target, the more dangerous one, for the bomb planter. He's unable to get that, and he takes down the bomb planter and then keeps himself alive. It's all on MSL, and he's taken down at Hen House. And now that's a slight comeback from gBots. I guess you could say the hometown heroes of this team. or really the hometown heroes of this country, and that is going to get the crowd cheering for them just a little bit harder. So we're about to dive into what could be the second half, what is going to be the second half after this round. The score is 9-5. The real question is gBot's going to make it to 6 points before before this round, or before this half ends. Huge stacked bet against them on CSGO Lounge, and I'm wondering if that's a bunch of people with upset bets. But we've got some YOLO plays coming out from MSL. Doesn't actually have an AWP on hand this time around. It's actually going to be Rubino carrying that. Molotov tossed to stop any abrupt push towards the west end of the map. And now it's going to be Torp actually getting the refrag onto MSL, who's attempting a flank. Torp only exchanges about 20 HP in exchange for that frag, so on the whole, not too terribly bad for themselves. But with that more information, that actually reveals that this is a pretty strong A play coming out, but we don't see the rotation coming in from Team Dignitas towards bomb site A just yet. So, and on top of that, beyond that, what we actually see here is gBot's. Well, Carry just gets the opener he needs. Rubino, however, he's got an AWP. Let's see if he can get a collateral. Just barely misses onto his target. He's gonna eat a Molotov, does shoot one through a box, and that is going to keep him barely alive. That's Lowell, the star player of the team, and now only 32 HP remains on Rubino as he tries to keep himself alive. He's gonna toss his own incendiary into a bit of a misleading position. Blind firing right now, and not a single one of those bullets hit. I don't think they did, but that's gonna be gBot's ending this with 6-9 of the enemy team. This pistol round is going to be extremely important to them. Gonna go ahead and split the videos right now, cut it in half, and we'll be back with the second half in just a short moment.